Switching it up this year. So mom's keeping turkey. She said she was going to try
We are live, don't worry.
I hear that there's, well, hear that you guys aren't here, so we're going to try to we're just going to keep talking. Well, maybe we'll kind of hold off because we have some things that we need to play with some audio. Can you guys hear us better now? Maybe.
Give a thumbs up in the comments if you can hear us.
Can you hear us? Maybe. The audio is sus.
Oh, dang.
It does look like Todd is saying great things. You were saying great things.
I felt good.
So I grew up with tri-tip, and I feel like there's not a single place where I could find a good tri-tip sandwich in this town.
Yeah, I feel like it's, you get some burnt ends or different types of sandwiches, but it's not really tri-tip.
Okay. Okay, we're better. We're back. Perfect. Thanks, guys. We appreciate it. I hate to throw this at you right off the top here in a second, but I have to ask Todd if he could name all of Santa's reindeer.
Oh, no.
How many could you name?
Shoot, right now, Rudolph, Prancer, Vixen, Donner, Blitzen. That's about it.
That is a lot better than most of the Denver Broncos. Zach and Hank were in the locker room earlier this week, and it was epic or kind of sad. I'm not really sure. It's one of the two. Will you play that beautiful bean footage for us? Yeah.
How many reindeer can you name?
Shit. Bro, Rudolph. What's the other one? Prancer. Dang, how many of them is it, too?
Rudolph. Comet. Blitzen. I already said Comet, right?
Rudolph. That's it.
No, that can't be the only one.
That's the only one I know.
Never heard the song?
Cupid?
Yeah,
that's one.
There's one.
Oh, Prancer.
Yep, Prancer.
That's all I got.
I got one. I think I got one. No, I got two. Dasher and Rudolph. What is it? Comet?
Yep.
Okay. Comet. Prancer.
Yep.
and that's it.
Nah, I can't name Rudolph or Prancer. What's the other one?
There's Dasher, Dancer.
Dasher, Dancer. Oh, yeah.
Prancer,
yeah.
Vixen, Comet,
Prancer,
Cupid,
Vixen.
Donner,
Bro, he
Blitzen.
know way too many than me, bro.
knows the song.
Yeah, he know way too. He know the song. He know the song.
Okay, there is nothing more on brand for the Broncos than for Matt Henningsen to be off camera being like, are you guys serious? You guys don't know what it is? The guy's a genius. And I'm not saying that you need to be a genius in order to know all of Santa's reindeer, but it is very on brand for Matt Henningsen.
Yeah, it fits him perfectly.
Yeah.
I definitely wouldn't have got him all right. I don't know the song.
The song is leaving my mind as we speak. I couldn't sing it in tune. Do you have the song, Yaya? Could you sing it? So, worth noting, at some point we're going to have Yaya get in the shot because he is wearing this epic Christmas sweater that everyone needs to see. It's sweet. It's
Swag.
absolutely sweet. Todd, you played on Christmas Eve twice. You played on Christmas Day. Is there something special about playing on the holiday, or does it feel like any other Sunday?
It's fun because it's like a nationally televised game.
Yep.
Your whole family's watching. But you would much rather be at home with your family, opening presents. But it's always a great time because, it's football. And usually it's snow on the ground,
Yep.
white Christmas. So this should be a good one tonight. I know the snow's like leaving, but I was excited waking up to see the snow like on the ground this morning.
Yeah, unlike any holiday game that you ever played in, though, the Broncos are home here today against the New England Patriots. Prime time tonight, whole country watching, like you mentioned, hoping to keep their playoff hopes alive. Speaking of which, let's discuss this playoff picture just a little bit as it stands because Denver got a little bit of help from the Steelers yesterday, who beat the Bengals. For a second, I thought the Chargers were going to upset the Bills,
Yep,
but the
it was
Chargers
close.
chargered just like we thought. And the Bills got a 2-point win. The guys were saying earlier this week, I think the spread was 12 points?
Yeah.
I didn't even think that game was going to be close.
No, the Bills they're up and down, man. I don't know if
Sus.
they know who they are as a team, even still. They'll look good a couple weeks and look horrible. I just think they're kind of on this roller coaster ride.
Yeah, today, Christmas came a day early. Texans lost. Colts lost. Broncos, they're still sitting in the 11th spot right now. If they win today, they have a 36% chance of punching their ticket to the postseason. But if they lose, that drops to 4%. But I feel like there's maybe a 4% chance that this Broncos team even loses this game tonight.
Yeah, there's no way that they lose this game. I don't know if I'm hopeful about 30% either. I don't feel like that's a lot. But there's no way we lose to the Patriots. I mean, even with Bill Belichick being a historically great coach, they have had a lot of struggles, and there's a lot of opportunity for us to take advantage of them.
Yeah.
So there's no way we lose this game. I would bet $25 we don't lose this game.
$25? Historically great coach when you have the world's greatest quarterback to possibly ever play the game.
Definitely
Things
helps.
are a little bit different nowadays, obviously. Bailey Zappe's their guy in right now over Mac Jones. There's a lot of things going on with the Patriots, but is it harder or easier to get up for a game when you're facing an 3-11 team?
For me, it was always easier because I felt like it was my
Okay.
time to shine. It was my time to dominate, kind of get to go out there and pad the stats and have a great game and just, from start to finish, put together a nice tape to put out there. So for me, it was always easy to get up for these big games. I never felt like I had to get myself juiced. I was usually ready to go.
Yeah, and I feel like this game is even bigger for the Denver Broncos, not because we'd like to see this team win out here down the stretch, but really because of what happened last week. Coming off a tough loss, they gave up 42 points to the Detroit Lions, and that loss came with a lot of chatter, right? The shenanigans on the sidelines that we saw. Do you think that this team is locked in and focused this week, or do you think some of that chatter kind of infiltrated the locker room a little bit?
No, I think they're focused. I think whatever feelings or reservations they had about, let's say, Sean or Russ, it didn't start or end with that conversation on the sideline. So I don't
Right.
think it changed anything in regards to how the team is preparing for this game and talking to some of the guys. I think they're just as locked in. They kind of still feel like they control their own destiny. I know they need some things to go right. They just are focused on winning right now.
Yeah, I don't think it was so much of what happened on the sideline, just because I really do think that a head coach yelling at his quarterback is such a non-story. It happens
Yeah.
all the time. Not every camera ever catches that. But what I do think is interesting is that really, since before the season even started, we had that Week 15 game circled as a loss
Yep.
for the Broncos. But the conversation that came after it was, more about how they lost, not that they lost. Giving up 42 points, like I mentioned, and really looking like the defense that we saw when they gave up 70 to Miami.
Yeah.
So what concerned you most about the defensive performance last week, and how did they rectify that this week?
You know, what really made me nervous is that all the concerns that we had going into the game kind of were made real. Like we were unsure about our run defense, if we could stop the run. We knew we had some guys that were left open in the secondary at times, whether the team was able to complete the ball or they dropped the ball, whatever it may be. We knew that we had things that we had to clean up, and it seemed like on Saturday they were able to exploit every single one of our weaknesses, and we really didn't have an answer for it. So we still have those same things to clean up, I would say.
Yeah.
You know, it's good that we're playing a 3-11 team in the Patriots and that they're not going to run the ball down our throats this week, and hopefully Bailey Zappe doesn't have a record game in passes for 300 yards. But I think they're ready to bounce back this week.
Okay, like you said, this really has the potential to be a get-right game for this Denver Broncos team, specifically the defense, because this Pats offense is awful. Like, worse than Nate Hackett's Broncos awful. Like, that is how bad they are. No offense is putting up fewer points in the league this season than the Patriots. They scored 10 points last week against the Kansas City Chiefs, and they're averaging 13, a full score less than Nate Hackett's Broncos last season. So you can imagine how people in Boston feel right about now. New England has only had one game this season where they did not have a turnover. They have 8 touchdowns and 15 interceptions, and they're 11 losses. Bailey Zappe loves to give the defense an opportunity to just sack him. He got taken down 4 times last week. So it begs the question, I guess, in the 3 games that they won, what worked?
Really, it was the turnover battle. They had less turnovers in those 3 games than they did in other games. I guess they weren't losing the turnover battle. They were able to put together some good games by their running backs, and their quarterback actually showed up. But, you know, I don't see that happening again today.
6 touchdowns, 1 interception in those 3 games. One little stat that I don't love is that 2 of their 3 wins, though, came on the road this year.
Yeah.
I have a feeling, though, Empower Field at Mile High is going to be popping tonight.
It should be. Should be a great night. Like, don't sleep on these guys. Like, we definitely can beat them, and they're beatable, but they're going to come ready to play. They're going to come feeling like they have the ability to win based off how we lost not only last week, but just our losing throughout the course of our season. They're going to feel like they can probably beat us as a team. So if we need to come out early, set the tone early, be dominant early, so that they don't ever feel like they have, like, some second wind or some energy throughout the game.
Yeah. What's interesting about the Patriots offense is, as if they weren't struggling enough this year, tonight they're without 3 of their big names. Hunter Henry. I don't know what his injury is, and I don't want to say this out loud, but I'm going to. Thank God. Because of all the positions the Broncos struggle to defend, I feel like the tight end is one of them, and I'm glad that we're not seeing him here tonight. I hope he feels better soon, but I'm glad he's not here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it's been tough for us. I mean, even going back to when I was here, I feel like we've struggled guarding tight ends. Not me personally, but, you know, just the team. So
never you.
It's good to see, you know, him taking a break from this game.
I can never say his first name. Ramondre Stevenson. The running back, and Juju Smith-Schuster. Those guys are also out of this game. So who's left for the New England Patriots?
You got Zeke. And then you got a bunch of guys. Yeah, you got a bunch of guys.
This reminds me of back in the day when I used to host a pregame show with Steve Atwater. It was live in stadium. And Steve was known for, like, digging into the roster, like, a little too deep. I'd be like, who are some of their offensive threats? And he'd mention a couple, like, the big name starters. And then he'd try to, like, rattle off Everybody, right? He wants to give everybody love because that's Steve. He wants to give every guy love because every guy's putting in the work. But I will never forget this. Steve decides to roster quiz me on a team that we only play once every God knows how long. And he's like, God, who's their 4th string wide receiver? And I'm like, I don't know, Steve. You tell me. Mind you, this is in front of like 76,000 people. I walk off. I'm like, damn, Steve. I'm like, you can't roster quiz me like that. Like, you're making me all stressed. He's like, oh my gosh, I'll never do that again. I'm so sorry. He's like, I don't even know why I was on that little rant. My bad. Next game.
Same thing.
I'm like, Steve, whatever you do not roster quiz me on this team. Like, I know the starters. And he's like, oh, no, I would never do that again. Does the exact same thing. And I'm like, Steve, you're the reason I'm quitting. You're the reason I'm leaving. That's actually not true. I love that man. But that's what that reminded me of. You're like, I don't even know who else is on that team. Just some guys.
Dudes,
just some dudes who try hard. Ezekiel Elliott, he has averaged 93 yards per game from scrimmage in 2 games as the Patriots starter. He's averaging like 10.4 carries a game and 37 rushing yards per game. Those are career lows for Zeke. Obviously with a new team, but what's up with the run game?
Yeah, I think the offensive line, it's not what he's used to running behind. Dallas, for the years he was there, had arguably the best offensive line in football for many years. And so he's running behind some younger guys, some inexperienced guys, and I think he's having a hard time finding his balance again.
Okay, someone who's not going to be out there to ensure that the Patriots offense doesn't start clicking all of a sudden is Kareem Jackson.
Yeah.
Eligible to play. Obviously, the Broncos made the decision to stay with PJ Locke. Do you like this decision?
I understand it. I understand it just because of how the team was rolling. They kind of had some energy. And for a few of those games, PJ was the reason why they found some of that energy.
Yeah.
Whether it was game-winning, interceptions or making plays. First Broncos safety to have a sack in back-to-back-to-back games. I mean, he's really making a lot of plays, so I understand. Sometimes you got to let the hot hand play.
Got to let the hot hand play. I know. I was a little surprised that he wouldn't even be made active. To make him inactive for the game. I thought at least maybe he'd dress. But I guess maybe it's out of respect for the vet, right?
Yeah.
Does that play into it, you think?
Making him inactive?
Making him inactive. Like, do you make the guy get dressed if he's not going to play?
No.
You know what I mean? Especially as a guy who's been in the league for as long as him. It's like, hey, wear your street clothes or your warm-ups and come hang out.
Yeah, for me, the check is the same, like whether I'm active or inactive. So don't suit me up and warm me up if I'm not going to get out there.
Fair enough.
You know what I'm saying?
Fair enough.
I could put on a chain and a hoodie on the sideline and we'd be good.
And chill.
Yeah, exactly.
K-Jack is like eager to get back out there too. So I have a feeling this is going to be a tough one for him tonight, but looking forward to seeing him soon, hopefully. Switching gears, but still speaking of defense, the Patriots defense is really the only thing that has kept them in any single game this entire season. The Broncos' identity, surprisingly, this season has been running the football. The Patriots have the best run defense in the league. How do the Broncos combat that this week?
It's surprising. They do a few things well. The red zone, run defense. They're pretty good on third down.
Yep.
But for us, I think we have to commit to running the ball because I think that's going to open up our play action. Like, we're nothing without running the ball because it leads to our play action, it leads to plays down the field to Courtland Sutton. And I think it's important for us because if you guys know Bill Belichick, his thing is to take away your best asset on your team. And I think that's Courtland Sutton for us.
Okay.
If they're great in the run game and they take away Courtland Sutton, it's a tough night for us. So we have to be able to run the ball. So we have to hit the edges, make those guys, pursue McLaughlin sideline to sideline and really get outside the pocket.
You answered a question that I had for you of who was the best player on our offense that they were going to try to take away. So you think it's Courtland. So if the Broncos are going to stick with the run, obviously to open up play action, we talked about this on the pod earlier this week. You missed it because you were sick, but I'm glad you're feeling better.
Much better.
It was a tough week for Todd. Do the Broncos need to make drastic changes in order to spark this offense? And one of the ideas pitched was, do you start a guy like Samaje over Javonte? Do you like that idea tonight, or do you want to just stick with what they've been doing?
I don't really see where Javonte is lacking. I still see him making something out of nothing most plays.
Yep.
Now, if he was, getting caught from behind or not finding the right hole, okay, let's make it switch. I just feel like he's doing the best he can with the opportunities he's given. I don't see a need to make a switch right now. I love the roles that each of the guys are playing. Samaje being more of a third down back, 2-minute back, pass protecting back, and Javonte still being the downhill runner. I think that's the best recipe for us.
My hot take was to start Jaleel McLaughlin.
Oh my gosh.
I always have one bad take every week. His success rate is 53%, and it's best among all Broncos backs, and it's 13% better than Javonte Williams. He's just not getting as many carries. Obviously, it's easier to be more successful when you're not getting as many opportunities. He's averaging 4 carries a game, but Could we see Jaleel a little bit more here down the stretch?
I think so, but I think it's
still.
always tough when you get like a small sample size that looks really good.
Yep.
And people don't understand what it means to like, okay, he's fresh coming off the sidelines to get 4 carries. Okay, if we give him the starting role now, he's getting 20 carries and he's in there to pass protect. He should be a lot more tired throughout the game. So his, 15th carry is going to look a lot different than his first carry did. So it looks good in a small sample size. I think he would still do good, but I don't know if he needs to start.
Good, not great.
Yeah.
Good, not great. I like it. Let's move on to Russell Wilson here for a second. 131 passer rating versus Bill Belichick, including the playoffs, which is highest in NFL history against Billy Boy. Wilson is one of 3 quarterbacks undefeated versus Bill in regular season games. He's 3-0 in regular season against Bill. He did lose the Super Bowl to my not friend Bill Belichick, but. Is it possible that Russell Wilson has Bill Belichick's number?
Yeah, some people just have guys' numbers. There's something about it. It's like when Tom Brady played either one of the Manning brothers. It's just, we have your number. There's nothing you can do about it. And, so I hope that continues. The streak of him not losing any regular season games continues again tonight because the Broncos need it.
How can this Broncos offense look spectacular? We have one. Super chats. Saints fan here. Peyton usually plays at Belichick. Well, that's true. And we'll actually get to that here in just a second. Thanks so much for the super chat. What's interesting about Sean and Bill is they both have 2 wins against each other. So they do play each other well, but they're pretty neck and neck. And when it comes to yards per game and points per game, it's pretty close. So we can get to that in a second. But I just want to talk about Russ for a second. It's prime time for him. We all know he shows out in prime time. But what do you want to see more of from this offense tonight to really, I don't know, zhuzh it up a little bit, zhuzh up the win,
Yeah, I think, for us to really feel confident about this team and really feel good about it, Russ is going to have to make some plays that aren't play action, that aren't scramble drill, that are just simply him dropping back and finding the open receiver. That'll make this feel like a complete team and a complete win. You mix that together with our running game and our ability to really hold the time of possession. Yep. I think that'll look really, really nice on this Christmas Eve.
Okay, I think I would take this one. I want to get your opinion. Open up your Bet365 app right this minute. Use code DNVR365 at sign up. Place a bet of $5 or more and get $150 in bonus bets. We here at DNVR, we have boosted a Wilson 2 or more passing touchdowns and a Broncos win. Do you think Russ gets 2 or more passing touchdowns?
Ooh, that's a good boost. That's tough. I think that he'll have 1 passing, 1 rushing.
Okay. Tush push, you think, or what is this this rushing touchdown look like? Little scramble
to the left side.
To the left.
Yeah.
I really hope this happens exactly like this. Also, guys, while you have your phones open, be sure to head on over and check out our good friends from Prize Picks. They are the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America, and they really are the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. It's just you against the numbers. So instead of battling thousands of other players, including pros and sharks, you pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections and really just watch the winnings roll in. I checked this out, and this is, in my opinion, quite possibly the coolest way to do this because basketball season's here, right? So you can now pick a combo projection across football and basketball from the specials leagues, a league created specifically for combo projections that includes 2 or more players from different sports leagues. So for example, you could do Jamal Murray and Courtland Sutton at a 10.5 combo of 3 points made and receptions. That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
That is super, super cool. So you guys go to prizepicks.com/DNVR, use code DNVR for a first deposit match up to $100. Prizepicks.com, DNVR is the code. Daily fantasy sports made easy. And do not get in the comment section and tell me that I just read the whole thing because I know that they're a new partner and I just want to make sure I get it right.
Do people comment about that?
Yeah. Because I'm really bad at ad reads.
Well,
You're great.
I read for sure straight from the phone.
Trying to do our job.
You know what I'm saying?
Reading at a 5th grade level. I love that.
And shout out to our friends over at Breckenridge Brewery, the official beer of DNVR. Check out them at breckbrew.com for their beer locator. And I feel like beer and Christmas go so well together. It's a great drink to have when you're chilling with your family, beating them at spades, beating them at Monopoly. Have yourself a beer to celebrate your winnings. And we have a lot of great beer that you should try, whether it's the Fun Slinger, the Broncos Country Pale Ale, which we have on set. They have the Good Company Hard Seltzer, which is phenomenal. And they've been doing it for over 33 years. They can't be beat. Go check out our friends. Again, use breckbrew.com for their beer locator. And
what goes really, really well with a Breck Brew, of course, Snarf sandwiches. I wonder if they're open on Christmas Eve. I'd be curious. That might be something that we can do. Get us a little Snarfs order around here?
Yeah.
Is it closed? Damn. Okay, just kidding. Hot toasty sandwiches. You guys have had them. I don't know if there's a lot of people in Colorado that haven't tried Snarfs, but if you haven't, you are completely missing out. They've been doing these toasted sandwiches here in Colorado since 1996. They have incredible quality, all kinds of options, meat, veggie. Their artichoke feta sandwich is one of my all-time favorites, actually. So download the Snarfs app for online ordering and delivery. You can also join Snarfs Rewards and receive a special welcome offer of $5 off an order of $10 or more. Also, Broncos tailgates, there's only going to be one more next week. The New Year's Eve game up against the Chargers. So get on out there, have some fun, have some Snarfs, have some Breck Brew.
Snarf it up.
Is distillery out there? I want to know who has been drinking out of the distillery bottle. That's all I really care about. I also want to give a shout out to another super chat that came in. It was from Russell Wilson. He said that we were doubting him. He's like, I always cook the Pats. What? Russ, you better be locked in on this game. You can't be watching the DNVR pregame show.
Hey, man, he's a good multitasker because I see him on TV right now talking to the guy. So, I mean, shout out to Russ, man. I didn't know he had it in him. But.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, Russ. We really appreciate it. Okay, let's finally get to Tug of War. We're going to kind of get through these a little bit faster because I think Todd has already showed his hand for most of these. So maybe what I'll do is I'll bring up our DraftKings over-unders.
Okay.
And that might help.
Let's rock.
Okay, so when the Broncos pass, Russell Wilson over under 211.5 passing yards here tonight.
I'm going to say
that one's tough.
That is tough. I'm going to say over.
Over.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll give that one to the Broncos. When the Broncos run, Javonte Williams over under 54.5. Wow. That's a lot.
It is, and it's a lot because they split reps. If it was just him, I would say yes, of course. Because of that, I'm going to say under.
Okay, under. So we're going to give that one to the Patriots. I will say their run defense, like you mentioned, is the best in the league. So that one I think is fair. When the Patriots pass, Bailey Zappe over under 178 passing yards. I don't know who the hell he's passing to tonight.
I don't know either. But 178 feels like anybody could do that. Y'all hear? You think you can go throw up 178 right now?
But against this Broncos,
I'm gonna still say no. I think our Broncos defense is playing pretty well, especially our back end.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say no.
The Broncos secondary, I don't want to totally blame this all on the secondary, but the Broncos defense last week gave up 5 passing touchdowns to Jared Goff. These guys are going to be locked in this week. Pat Surtain, he leads the Broncos with 10 passes defense this year. He's allowed 4.2 yards per target in man coverage, which is the lowest among cornerbacks with 20-plus targets in man coverage this year. The guy is an absolute baller. So I'm not worried about anything that Bailey Zappe is going to try to do here tonight. I am not a fan, though, of the fact that Nick Bonito is not going to play in this game. That sucks.
Yeah, again, we
2
need
weeks
him.
in a row.
Yeah, definitely.
Leads the team with 7 sacks, but Zach Allen will touch him a couple times, get after him a couple times. Wait, don't make that face. When the Pats run, DraftKings have the over-under for Zeke at 66.5.
That's a good amount of yards for him. I feel like we've had a little bit of trouble stopping the run, and I hope it doesn't continue to happen tonight. But I'm going to say under. I don't think that we, mess up like we did 2 weeks in a row to where we let old man Zeke come back and have a good game.
He's currently averaging 3.5 yards per.
Yeah.
Zeke would need at least 19 carries tonight, which he's only done once this season. I don't think it's happening.
No.
Maybe because it's cold.
Maybe. I mean, they don't have any options. Like you said, they don't have anybody to throw to. Maybe they have to use Zeke tonight.
Maybe they have to. Okay, so 19 carries for Zeke. A couple weeks ago, I think he had 21, and it was in that win against Pittsburgh, which literally up until about 2 hours ago, I was convinced was their Thanksgiving game. They did not play on Thanksgiving.
No.
Anyways. Okay, special teams. I don't have any over-unders or anything like that on this, but this is so obvious. It's painful. You don't even need to respond on this one. It is the Broncos.
Yep.
Patriots have the worst field goal unit in the league. They've only hit 65% of their field goal attempts. Like, I don't even know what happened. And their kick and their punt return team is brutal. So, yeah, that one's easy. But this is the one that we wanted to get to. Coaching. Billy Boy versus Sean Payton.
I mean, if we go all-time career, I think Bill Belichick has had a phenomenal career.
But now it has an asterisk on it.
Now it does have an asterisk because you had maybe one of the best quarterbacks to ever do it on your team. But if we talk about right now in this very moment, who's coaching their team better, has to be Sean Payton. He's taking these boys from 1-5 to now we're 7-7. Still have a shot to make the playoffs. I know that the Patriots are out of it, and Bill Belichick won't be the head coach next year, so can't give the nod to him.
Okay, so the Broncos take 5 out of 7 here tonight. Not surprising. I think the score is going to reflect this as well. Let's go ahead and check in with James Palmer. He was out at the stadium today. He's the sideline reporter tonight. You guys will get to see and hear from him all throughout the game. Let's see what he had to say here for all of us here at DNVR.
What's up, guys? I am not at the stadium yet. Doing sideline for this game. Going to be there for the whole broadcast. Rich Eisen, Kurt Warner, me, Sherry Burris. Forgot my credential at the house. So kind of waiting for another one. But while we're out here, had a chance to sit down with Sean Payton, Russell Wilson, Justin Simmons this week, and obviously all the discussion is about the quarterback and the head coach. And I'll just tell you this, talking to both of them privately, you can tell there's a lot of mutual respect and admiration. We all talk about the screaming match. And I think we have to remember, and Sean pointed this out to us, he is a Bill Parcells guy. He said there's a lot of things that we are not similar in, but Bill kind of taught me if I'm not yelling at you, then maybe you should be concerned, because he wants something out of Russ. And there are things about Russ's game that he sees he has to change as a coach. He puts that on him first. But there are aspects of Russ's game that he really, really likes, and he knows he can exploit. He wants to go downfield more. He absolutely, I'll tell you this, loves his deep ball. Keep an eye on him moving Courtland Sutton around, trying to find different things to free him up. Jimmy Graham was his go-to guy a few years ago, well, more than a few years ago. Aqib Talib locked him up when he was playing with Bill Belichick, and it really threw the offense off. He wants to make sure that doesn't happen, forcing the football to Courtland Sutton if they find a way to lock him down. So look for them to try to find Courtland, move him around, but they won't stick to it. They don't want it to disjoint their offense. I'll try to get inside eventually, guys. Take it easy.
I hope he's made it inside by now, because the game is about to start. Looking fresh with that haircut. I think it's a fresh haircut. It couldn't look much fresher. Speaking of fresh, I have to bring in RK here for a second, who is wearing the shirt that the Broncos are undefeated when he wears.
Baby.
It is the Champ Bailey. What are those called? Like graphic tees, but like
graphic tees.
They're really like collage tees. I love them.
Merry Christmas. Go Broncos. Let's get this dub.
Let's do it.
RK in the building. He'll be with us post-game, so you guys are definitely going to want to join. We have a few minutes, so we want to get to the other fits that none are going to live up to what RK is wearing, but we will give this a whirl. Shout out to whoever called me out earlier saying that I was wearing the pirate fit, which I appreciate. It's kind of true. It's painfully true. Who's first? Yeah. Ooh, Justin Simmons
that Justin?
first. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looks good. I was out with him earlier this week, and I asked him, like, so is just everything custom? Like, do you buy anything off the rack anymore? You just can't hide the money? I mean, he looks good. He always looks good.
What are you going to give this one? Flames?
Oh, yeah,
this
that's
one
fire.
first
My
off the
bad.
top.
I forgot to.
I mean, my mind's blown because I've just never seen Justin not wear something. That was dope. Next, Jerry. Puffer jacket. Kind of casual. It's a huge chain.
Are they camo?
A little bit like tree camo kind of.
Okay.
I think he looks cool.
I think it's a good fit.
I
No,
think
chains are
I'm going to give him cool guy.
expensive chains.
Can't hide money. How thick is that chain? That's crazy. I like that one. Okay, let's see the next one. Yeah. Court, very casual.
Yeah.
Understated.
He's comfortable today.
What? Is that white Louis bag?
Yeah.
With the shirt? From here, because it's far away, it looks like a takeout bag. Like it has like Chinese food in it.
It does.
For a minute, just like from my angle, it doesn't look obviously Louis, but I'm gonna clap it up for Court.
Yeah, I think he looks good.
I think he's gonna have a long night. I think they're gonna double team him. But ooh, I
He
want
looks
more
like
from Pookie on.
He looks like 1993 basketball warm up. Yeah.
I was gonna say the
He's
Bulls.
about to rip those off and just
Danny DeVito vibes here.
without the bucket.
exactly. Yeah.
Like Danny Cutlets here. Yeah, this is giving me Bulls for sure. I personally don't love this one, especially on
dang.
Christmas. On Christmas, like he looks like he's in his jams.
Dang,
Sleepy.
she sleep.
I'm asleep on it. What do you?
Italian mom.
He gave
The
me Italian.
Italian
Okay,
mob.
I like that. I know.
All he needed was 2 little gold chains.
He's making me crave
and
some
a
spaghetti.
Rolex. It's over.
Oh, that would have been nice. Okay, last one. Dang. Is that the pointed
Well, you-
toe?
The
like,
Chelsea boot.
Chelsea boot. Okay.
It looks good.
I like ending on him too.
The turtleneck looks so weird to me.
You don't like the turtleneck with
See,
the suit?
I like turtlenecks. I don't like it on him.
Oh, really?
You
I
should
think
be a
he can wear
stylist. Because the stylist has to
actually,
understand.
Can you come here really
you know
quick?
what I'm saying?
Take us back live, and let's get Yaya's fit in.
You got to
since he's
understand
gonna
measurements as a stylist for sure.
talk a little schmack. So this is what Team Mexico.
Team Mexico.
El
Navidad.
Sport Navidad with Santa.
What does Navidad mean? Quick.
Christmas.
There you go.
Looks so offended.
I was like, don't question me like that. Does that say Mexico ho ho?
Yeah, it actually does.
Unbelievable. I actually like the turtleneck on Russ. I think it looks good. They look good. I think they're going to play good. Final thoughts here before we get out of here, Todd. Broncos win if.
Oh, actually,
You
know,
wrote these
I
down?
wrote a couple things down.
Oh.
It kind of went fast. I think we win if we have 22 points. They've only scored more than 22 points one time all year. That's when they had Mac Jones and Hunter Henry and Juju and different running back, and it was a completely different team.
Stevenson, because we can't remember his first name.
Stevenson.
Yeah.
If we get just 22 points on the board, I think there's no way that the Patriots can hang with us.
Okay. I have Broncos win if they take care of the football, convert in the red zone, and generate turnovers.
I think that's all true.
Pretty much a winning recipe any week, right?
Absolutely.
The Patriots win
if they win the turnover battle. We've won 6 of our last 8 games, and in all the 6 we won the turnover battle.
I love it.
So if the Patriots are able to get up some turnovers on us, I think it's going to be tough for us to bounce back. So it's got to be number one key for us is to hold on to the ball and not give it away.
Okay, I have the Patriots win if the Broncos beat themselves.
Yep.
I think if somehow or another, they allow a turnover on their part, maybe, a fumble or an interception, if they let that negative energy really infiltrate the sideline, the next series, I think that's the way that the Broncos lose this game is somehow is if it kind of becomes a mind game and they lose that. What was your final score prediction? I think you and I were a little too high this week, possibly.
What did I say? Like
27? Do you have them?
All right,
We got
so
quick.
we had Todd at 16-27, and we had Alexis at 10-27.
I said 10-27, 27 Broncos, 10. I want to lower that. I think we score I think it's like 20-9.
It's too late. It's already tweeted.
Yeah,
I
it's
know,
locked in.
it doesn't matter. 20-9 is what I'm going to say. Any final thoughts before we get out of here, Todd?
Let's go, Broncos. Let's get a win, baby.
Let's
Look
go.
at Jimmy Palm Trees looking like
Oh, dang. He looks
fresh
good.
and clean.
Merry Chrysler to all.
Merry Christmas. We'll see you guys in a little bit.
We all silly like the mayor.